Right now on 13 Action News Live at 6, heated protests continue over the immigration crisis at the border as more politicians visit the facilities used to house the families that were separated. But first, all eyes on the Valley after the president makes a big stop touting his tax cuts and also taking some jabs at local politicians. Contact 13 investigative reporter Joe Bartels is live at the South Point now, where he's been covering the president's visit all day. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, Tom, the president in and out of the Valley in just a matter of hours, first stopping at the Suncoast, then coming here to the South Point showroom. Let's take you there to the Suncoast first. The president speaking to the Nevada GOP convention, a very competitive race here in Nevada in November for several key political posts for governor, Senate, and Congress. The president taking the time to discuss his tax cut passed last year, border security, and health care. About 30 minutes later, the president taking the stage right at 2 o'clock here at the South Point. His roundtable discussion focused on Nevada, and he took credit for a boost in the local economy thanks to tax reform and tax cuts, as I said, passed just last year. The roundtable also touched on the stalled Fontainebleau project on the Strip that's now been renamed the Drew, and construction expected to resume next July and will create about 11,000 jobs. We also spoke to one local who supports the president and his policies.
Basically, I think it's helped stimulate the economy. I mean, I think Vegas is coming up again. And we see a big smile now. Everybody's making money.
And you mentioned, Tom, that the president did take some time to take some jabs at local politicians. He took a swing at Senate candidate and Congresswoman Jackie Rosen, calling her Wacky Jackie. Her office releasing a statement to 13 Action News just a little bit ago saying, quote, "The president is attacking me with lies and petty insults because I'm not afraid to stand up to him." More tonight at 11. Reporting live, Joe Bartels, 13 Action News.
All right, thank you, Joe. And as President Trump was met with applause and cheers inside the South Point and the Suncoast, dozens of people weren't too happy to see him. Protesters lined the streets near the Suncoast, many of them carrying signs and talking about their disagreements with the president's policies. Democratic Congress members traveled to Texas today to visit one of the facilities housing children separated from their parents at the border. Here's Daria Albinger with the latest.
A heated protest at a border detention center this afternoon where demonstrators used their bodies trying to stop a bus filled with what they said was families and children about to be moved to a new location. Earlier in the day, more than 24 Democratic members of Congress visited facilities housing migrant children separated from their parents in McAllen, Texas.
It is, for all intents and purposes, a prison. This is not the way we treat people who are seeking asylum.
The president defending his administration's treatment of those migrant children detained at the border.
We will have millions and millions of people pouring through our country with all of the problems that would cause, with crime and schools.
One congressman visiting the McAllen facility describing a room with mounds of mylar, those mylar blankets covering little girls.
They were scared little girls who deserve, as challenging as the law is, deserve the values and the ethical good treatment that we as Americans are here to demand and to make sure that they receive.
The U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency says 500 kids have been reunited with their families. More than 1,800 children still waiting. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Well, there are the final numbers for the day. We ran 9 degrees above average for this time of year. The official at McCarran, 110. That was the high in North Las Vegas. Nellis at 109, and Henderson, the executive airport, also at 109 degrees. It's an excessive heat warning. Only about 2 hours left. The same goes for the higher elevations. They are under a heat advisory, but that will also expire at 8 o'clock tonight. Here's where we are now. Still hot out there. 108 at McCarran, North Las Vegas at 107. Summerlin almost down to 100, and Anthem at 106 degrees. The wind's still going a little strong. These are sustained wind speeds. You can see windy in North Las Vegas and breezy to windy for the rest of the valley. The breezes are going to stick around until the late night hours, but the heat is coming down. We'll be in the 90s by the 11 o'clock hour. Tomorrow is going to be better. I'll tell you just how much better it's going to be and whether windy conditions are going to make a comeback anytime soon in your 13 First Alert forecast.
A boil water advisory is issued in Laughlin after a water main break. Water in the Casino Drive corridor has been shut down. The map on your screen right there shows where that order has been issued. Properties outside the area on the map are not affected by the advisory. We have full information on the advisory on our website at ktnv.com, plus instructions on boiling water for drinking and cooking. A man is dead after North Las Vegas police say he was hit by a vehicle while crossing the road. It happened near Camino El Norte and Ben Arrow last night. So far, no word on who's at fault, but police say the driver did stay at the scene. It didn't show any signs of impairment. And you may remember that intersection because of this girl. 6-year-old Mia Decker was killed in that very same crosswalk also on a Friday night 7 years ago. Mia's death captured the attention of our entire valley, and 13 Action News anchor Leslie Marine has more on some safety changes that were made at that intersection.
Police cars surround this intersection once again. This time police say it was a young man killed, but 7 years ago, it was this little girl.
She will put a smile on anybody's face. You're having a bad day, she'll just walk up to you and you know you're fine.
Mia Decker was described by family as a little angel. Her life was cut short at just 6 years old. Mia and 2 other little girls were in the marked crosswalk at Camino El Dorado and Bet Arrow Drive when they were hit by an elderly driver. After Mia's death, her mom fought hard for changes at that intersection, and she got her wish. With the help of the entire Valley and 13 Action News, we led a traffic safety campaign called Be Smart, Be Safe.
Everybody has gotten involved, because of this, because of our tragedy. And you see so many now that are happening that, again, can be very preventable.
New signs with flashing lights are now at that intersection. Mia's family has left the valley because living here has been too difficult. The driver in the crash, Alice Alava, was 78 at the time. She was convicted and sentenced in 2012. A judge suspended Alava's driver's license for 2 years and ordered her to pay fines totaling $5,000. Leslie Marine, 13 Action News.
Firefighters are expecting to contain the Pine Creek fire at Red Rock Canyon tonight. At least 91 acres have been burned, and it's about 70% contained. The scenic drive is open, but the Pine Creek parking lot is closed, and so are trails nearby. Well, it's the 1-year anniversary of the Armory opening at the T-Mobile Arena, and right now Golden Knights fans are getting their hands on some unique merchandise. They can buy limited edition products and collectibles. The Armory is open until 8 p.m. And looking ahead, Golden Knights prospective players and staff are teaming up to help out in the community. Prospects, along with volunteers, will serve a meal Monday, June 25th at Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada. The meal begins at 10:30. The organization expects to help 1,000 people. Right now, the Vegas Valley Fire versus Police are playing in a charity hockey game. It's at City National Arena where the Golden Knights practice, and Derek Englund is also playing. Proceeds go to the Injured Police Officer Fund. Well, protesters shut down roads and bridges in Pittsburgh. Demonstrators are demanding justice for a teen shot and killed by a police officer. And you don't need me to tell you, it's definitely sunny out there, and the heat isn't the only thing affecting us. It can also have a negative effect on our medication, too. And the end of an era is just days away. Toys R Us offering bigger discounts before it closes for good. And count on Chopper 13 to bring you breaking news fast and first. We'll be right back. All right, well, caught on camera, a Wisconsin couple woke up to a cry for help in the middle of the night. It was coming from their under construction basement. They found a bear cub that had fallen and couldn't get out. The couple saw the mama bear pacing back and forth, so they called police and wildlife officials. So they lowered a ladder into the pit so that bear could climb out. The cub did the rest. It climbed out safely and ran off into the woods. Well, protests continue in East Pittsburgh after a 17-year-old was shot and killed by a police officer. The shooting was caught on video by a woman inside a nearby apartment. ABC's Kenneth Moten talks with her and with protesters as they demand answers for the death of Antoine Rose.
Protests continue in Pittsburgh as demonstrators shut down roads and bridges, demanding justice for 17-year-old Antoine Rose.
It's time for police to be held accountable for their behavior.
The rain not stopping those protesters who joined an already planned Juneteenth Freedom Parade, which commemorates the end of slavery in the U.S.
Nobody should be shot in the back. We're not tolerating no more deaths.
Antoine was shot and killed by East Pittsburgh police officer Michael Rossfeld as he ran away during a traffic stop Tuesday night. For the first time, the witness who captured the incident on video talked about what led her to start recording.
The tone of the officer's voice, his tone, he was very harsh, he was screaming, and he was just very aggressive.
Investigators say the car Antoine was riding in matched the description of a vehicle possibly involved in a drive-by shooting minutes before. The district attorney saying an empty 9mm gun clip was found in the teen's front pocket after the shooting.
I'm not going to talk about everything that happened that night, but you asked me the question, did he have a 9mm, did he have a clip? He had a clip in his pocket.
But for many, there is no justification for the shooting.
When are they going to start training these people to really police? They're not policing.
They're not policing.
Those protesters now hoping for change. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Pittsburgh.
A congressional candidate from South Carolina is hospitalized after a wrong-way driver crashed last night. Katie Arrington and a friend were driving when that driver hit them. They were both seriously injured and the wrong-way driver was killed. Arrington suffered a fractured back, broken ribs, and the partial collapse of a leg artery. She'll have to have surgery on her small intestine and colon. And this just in, a victory won for women in Saudi Arabia. They're now allowed to drive for the first time in their country. The world's last remaining ban on women driving was lifted just a few hours ago. For years, women have had to rely on men to run basic errands for them, drive them to work, and navigate around. Thousands of people marched through central London on the second anniversary of the Brexit referendum. They want to call on the UK government to give British people a vote on the final Brexit deal. Organizers say that if a Brexit deal is rejected by the UK Parliament, the British people should have a vote on any final terms of the UK's exit out of the European Union. From Contact 13 now, in less than a few days, there will never be another generation of Toys R Us kids. The iconic toy store will shut its doors for good on June 29th, according to the Toys R Us Twitter page. But as 13 Action News anchor Carla Wade found out, now might be the best time to get some deals.
With the end of an era just days away, prices are now slashed 60 to 80% off. The place that so famously touted itself as the biggest toy store there is now sees its inventory shrinking as people snatch up popular toys for, in some cases, a third of the price.
I remember my parents taking me to Toys R Us when I was a little kid, so this is kind of bittersweet for me because I'm getting really good deals for my kids, but they're not going to grow up having gone to Toys R Us like I did when I was a kid.
Mattingly stocked up on toys for future birthday gifts and even Christmas. She says the deals were not that great when the store first announced it was closing, illustrating why she believes the chain went under.
Their pricing, I mean, some of the toys, even during the going out of business sale, they had some toys that were still cheaper at Target, even with their discounts.
But says the last couple of months since stores began liquidating in April have been good. We found shelves of Star Wars action figures marked down to $8, Minecraft toys just over $10, Troll dolls for $10, and video games marked down by 70%. These battery-operated cars were almost $400, now marked down to $159.99.
I think it was just their inability to keep up with online markets and price matching and things of that nature.
While you may save some cash, you can't purchase with cash or checks or debit cards, only credit. Carla Wade, 13 Action News.
Sad to see it go there, end of an era for sure. All right, well, there are plenty of ways to stay cool. If you still want to get outside and beat the heat this weekend, you can go to the Fremont Street Experience. You can ride the zip line there for $25, and it's actually about 20 degrees cooler under the canopy because it blocks the sun, and the AC from all the casinos with their doors open also helps cool things down. And of course, there's always Mount Charleston, which is also 20 degrees cooler than the valley.
It's way better, way cooler. You could feel a breeze a lot.
And if you want to take a little bit of a longer day trip, you can go cool off inside Lehman's Cave. It's near the Great Basin National Park. It's about 200 miles away from Las Vegas, and it has lows in the 50s. Sounds pretty good when we're dealing with 110 almost. All right, well, summer's here, and as things heat up, there's something you'll want to watch out for. The heat can also has an effect on the medication you take. Kumasi Aaron is checking out the concern and found a surprising place you don't want to store your meds.
Kale Frisch, like most of us, looks forward to the sunny days of summer.
When we live downtown.
While she may not have a problem being out in the sun, she knows her EpiPen might.
So I have specific reactions to some fruits, and it can be in lots of different things. So we carry it, and I carry one in my purse. I leave one in my car when it's cold out, but not when it's summertime out.
Doctors say taking meds out of your hot car and leaving them in a cool place is something we should all do this summer, even with over-the-counter drugs many of us use every day.
How big of an impact can the sun have on our medications?
It can have a huge impact, can degrade your medications.
Yamel Irizarry is a clinical pharmacy specialist at Kaiser Permanente and says the sun can break down a medication chemically and physically.
It will reduce the potency of the medication, which in turn will not make it work as well as it's supposed to.
And Irizarry says with medications like EpiPens, insulin, or in this example, antibiotics, the consequences can be dire.
It's not potentially going to work as well. It might not actually even clear out the bacteria, so you still have an infection. And two, it might actually increase the risk of that medication not working for you in the future.
So if not in a hot car or on a windowsill, where should you leave your medication? Well, not where you might think.
So there's a medication cabinet in our restrooms, right? Probably should not be storing our meds there because it does get hot, it gets steamy, so both the heat and the moisture from that can affect our medication integrity.
Unless it needs to be refrigerated, store your medicine somewhere cool and dry, like a drawer in your nightstand. Enjoying the sunny days of summer, meant for you, not your medication. I'm Kumasi Aaron.
Well, there's tracing back our journey to 113 and day one of our excessive heat warning. Yesterday, we got a little bit of a break, if you will, and then today, final number for the day, 110 degrees at McCarran, 13 First Alert Desert Doppler, still tracking nothing but sunshine around the Las Vegas Valley, and the same is the case around the desert Southwest. Notice just not a whole lot going on. With high pressure and control, that means a lot of sunshine, not only here, but out to Phoenix and even out to far west Texas. High pressure, the ridge, going to continue in place, but things are going to get a little bit better in the next 24 hours as far as high temperatures are concerned. We're going to have systems passing to our north, but not close enough to make a significant drop in temperatures. By Wednesday, however, we'll start to see breezy winds ahead of a system that will roll through closer to the weekend, and that will drop us a little bit more. But here's a look at what we have in store over the next couple of days. Down here, we have our average temperatures. You can see through Thursday, it will be between 101 and 102. And this is your forecast. So we're still going to be above average for this time of year, but not 10 degrees plus as we've seen over this last heat wave. And there you can see how much will be above average. The hottest we'll get is 7 degrees above average on Tuesday. Then we start to slowly come down as, again, that little system is going to come close enough to start to drop temperatures closer to next weekend. So I have better numbers for you for next weekend. As far as the gusts are concerned out there, we're going to see little to no wind over the next couple of days. The breezes will start to pick up just a little bit on Tuesday. We're talking the occasional breeze on Tuesday, and then 25-mile-per-hour gusts on Wednesday. That officially puts us into the breezy category. We can call it a little bit of nuisance wind. As far as your allergy forecast is concerned, pretty moderate. Going to get a little bit higher as the breezes start to kick up, but pretty consistently along 5. And remember, 12 is the highest, so middle of the road. 108 degrees at McCarran, 107 Nellis Air Force Base as we speak. Centennial Hills at 106 and Henderson at 106 as well. Overnight temperatures looking pretty good. Again, I like to let everybody know in the early morning hours, this is the best time to take your pooches out for a walk because you won't burn their paws at this time. 81 degrees Sunrise Manor, North Las Vegas 81, Centennial Hills at 79, and Summerlin also at 79 degrees overnight. Tomorrow, still very hot, but not as bad as this afternoon. We lose 5 degrees, we'll take it. 105 for central portions of the valley. The southwest, very similar numbers. Anthem a little higher in elevation at 103, and Boulder City coming in at 107. There's your day planner for tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, not quite as breezy as this afternoon. 96 degrees by lunchtime, but notice we're not hitting 105 at any time during the day except the final number for the day. So again, it looks a little bit better even though it's still quite hot. Outdoors for tomorrow, if you're planning on doing any hiking at Red Rock, early morning is the best time. Mount Charleston really at any point of the day, and we'll have breezy winds if you're planning to do any boating out in Lake Mead. There's your 13 First Alert 7-day planner. We're going to warm back up close to 110, but not quite there. We're going to be just below it on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Overnight temperatures pretty consistent, right around the 80-degree mark. Then once we get later in the week, that's when the breezes start to kick in. And then we have that system closer to the weekend that's actually going to bring us down closer to 100. And yes, here in the Las Vegas Valley, that is a cool down. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Carla. Well, applications are flooding in to adopt tortoises. Earlier this week, we told you a local animal rescue has been asking for help. They say there's been an overabundance of desert tortoises here in the Las Vegas Valley. And since our story aired, they've now received more than 100 applications to adopt. Look at that little guy.
Tortoises are great pets because they don't require a lot of maintenance. Once you have your burrow built, they can just survive off you know, plants that you have in your yard, and then they sleep for half the year, which is nice.
Great pet there, and the tortoise group says they still need some more families willing to adopt. If you're interested in helping out, just look for the story on our website at ktnv.com. And as a Maryland Terp myself, I say give those guys a home for sure. All right, well, one of New York's finest is making records and breaking barriers. Meet the city's first woman officer to wear a turban while on duty. And don't forget to download the all-new 13 Action News app. It features live streaming, video on demand, and a handy weather radar. It's free in the App Store and in Google Play. We'll be right back. Welcome back now to an NYPD officer making history. She's the first female officer there to wear a turban while on duty. Scripps reporter Chris Welch talks with her and reveals the message she hopes to send.
She wears it with pride, the badge, but also this turban.
It's a tradition and it's part of who we are.
Gursoch Kaur is the first female Sikh NYPD officer to wear one.
It's a great way of letting people know who you are, and it's nice when people appreciate your differences and they accept it.
The 20-year-old Queens native completed her auxiliary training at the New York Police Academy this year, fulfilling a dream that just a few short years ago seemed out of reach. But when news came in 2016 that the NYPD would start allowing officers to wear turbans,
I was just speechless.
For her, it's just one more symbolic step forward for a religious community that's been faced with abuse ever since 9/11.
Like, people would say mean things like, oh, what are you hiding underneath there? Is there a bomb there? Are you hiding a weapon there?
But her religion, she says, is the opposite of hate and is more about serving community. Kaur says she wants to use the multiple languages she speaks to help others who don't speak English and need to talk to a police officer. And she says if we can all help each other, it'll make our communities better.
And we'll become better people.
Reporting in Queens, New York, I'm Chris Welch.
All right, well, there are plenty of job openings around the valley, and we're working with Nevada Job Connect to make sure you know about them. There's an opening for an alarm dispatcher with a year of customer service experience. Pay is $12 an hour. Also, an opening for a human resources representative. Pay is $11 an hour plus benefits. And an opening for a certified traffic control flagger. Pay starts at $11.50 an hour. For more information on these jobs and other openings around the valley, just go to ktnv.com/jobs. All right, well, Carla has another look at your forecast, but right now, here's a live look outside our hot valley. You're watching 13 Action News, where you get breaking news fast and first. Here's a look at what's coming up in tonight's primetime lineup right here on ABC at 8 o'clock, America's Funniest Home Videos at 9, 20, 20. Then keep it right here for 13 Action News at 11.
All right, well, we just have about an hour and a half left on our excessive heat warning. We drop below the thresholds by tomorrow. 105 for the high, still hot, but we'll take the change. Just under 110 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Breezy winds come into the forecast on Thursday. Stick around for Friday and the weekend, and that means a little system is going to continue to cool us down as we head to Friday and Saturday.
Hey, we need it. It's been pretty rough the past couple days.
It has been rough.
Right.
We need the change.
For sure. Stay cool out there. All right, well, that's our news for right now. Stay with us for Judge Judy up next. We're always on at ktnv.com, our mobile app, Roku channel. We'll see you right back here for Action News live at 11. Thanks for watching, everyone.